Hi Abdullah, it's a real pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me today, Mario.
Sure, definitely. So actually today the episode is going to be about net zero carbon.
For today's episode, I think we should make things a little bit different. I'll be asking you questions today, and starting with why net zero carbon?
Well, simply the answer would be there's no other option. We reached a stage on a global scale where, now we stand at around 1.2 degrees temperature increase of the planet versus the beginning of the 20th century. And we're seeing actually the tremendous effects of this when it comes to extreme weather conditions, when it comes to forest fires, when it comes to floods. And all of these are actually devastating effects when it comes to the environment, the nature, and society. So local authorities, governments, people also, they are demanding change. The same goes for companies, the same goes for tenants, Every tenant out there, they are demanding to have science-based targets, they're demanding to have more green buildings, they're demanding to go for a certain office or a certain residence that has a lower carbon emission. So at the end of the day, we all have a certain role in this. And specifically, if you want to talk, let's say, for example, for the investment community, the investors also, they are looking at this from not just an environmental point of view, but also from a financial point of view, because nowadays it makes sense more to invest in something that has a lower sustainability risk. So they are actually exiting any investment that has a clear sustainability risk out there, and they want to be very much detailed when it comes to looking at the sustainability principles of companies, the ESG principles of the companies, not just in the traditional marketing ways, but in a more scrutinized way. So for all of these reasons, there is no other option than going for a net zero carbon future.
You've mentioned a few interesting challenges out there. So how do you think Cundall are approaching these challenges?
Well, as a company, we definitely walk the talk here. See, as an organization globally, we have already started measuring our emissions, our scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 emissions since 2008. And started reported these emissions back in 2012 and 2013. And after several years, we're very proud to say that 2020, we were the first consultancy worldwide to be a carbon neutral certified consultancy. And this tells a lot about going into the details of how to become actually carbon neutral. So when you go through this process and the learning curve that you go through it, this allows you also as a company to assist other companies that want to join you in this journey, but maybe they don't really have the scientific tools or the background to do so. And luckily enough, our background in this field and our expertise now allows us to assist all of these companies when they come to us saying that we want to have a science-based target, we want to reduce our carbon footprint, but maybe we don't have the right tools to do that. And this is where our role comes in also. So we're assisting all of these companies because at the end of the day, it's not just a one-person thing. You need to do this across the whole organizations. It's not just the built industry by itself, because all of the industries, they have their carbon footprint. The construction industry, the media industry, the F&B industry, all of these industries are all in when it comes to reducing the carbon emissions on a global scale. So as a young engineer actually, and speaking now of the decisive decade, when it comes to the 2020-2030, I'd be interested to see how you see your role and contribution in this overall challenge.
As a curious person and someone who is very interested in this topic, I try to start with myself by educating myself and then educating people around me, family, friends, and even more important, the younger generation in universities and school. A few initiatives that I started here in Cundall, we have this Cundall diploma that we offer to all graduates. They teach you about different sustainability factors in different disciplines. We recently started the Net Zero Carbon 2030 initiative, which I'm personally one of the advocates. We're trying to ultimately achieve the 2050 initiative or actually goal that all countries are involved in. And personally, as someone who thinks that I'm still going to be working by 2050, I want to be involved in this since the beginning. In Cundall, we started this initiative. We set some goals for ourselves, starting this by the end of this year. Every engineer in the company should be able to produce a net zero carbon design for our clients. And then moving forward with the years, 25% of our projects will be net zero carbon design. 50%, 75%, and ultimately by 2030, 100% of our design should be net zero carbon.
Well, hopefully so. Thank you very much, Abdallah, and definitely looking forward to your contributions inside Cundall, and looking forward to more collaboration when it comes to the end goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me again.